This is a story about a game that disappeared right at the peak of its fame. I mean, poof, gone. It's a wild story, and honestly, it almost doesn't sound real. We're talking about the flight and fall of Flappy Bird.
Okay, get this. At its absolute peak, this super simple game was raking in $50,000. And I don't mean a month or even a week. We're talking 50 grand a day. So you're probably thinking, wow, they must have had an insane marketing budget, right? Wrong. There were no ads, nothing on YouTube, no big social media campaigns. Its growth was completely 100% organic.
And it gets crazier. There were no investors. No big venture capital firm backing it. No major gaming studio pulling the strings from behind the curtain. This thing wasn't cooked up in some corporate boardroom. But here's the part that really blows my mind. There was no team. No office packed with developers and artists and marketing people. The whole shebang was the work of just one guy. So that brings us to the big question, the $50,000 a day question. With all that money, all that fame, built from literally nothing, why on earth did the creator, Dong Nguyen, just delete it? To really get why, we got to go back to the very beginning. Yeah, to understand how it all ended, we have to see how it started. We're going back to 2013, to a developer in Vietnam. And you know what? He wasn't trying to change the world. He was just trying to make some simple games people could play while waiting for the bus. The whole point of Flappy Bird was, well, it was super modest. It was never designed to be this global phenomenon. It was literally made for those couple of minutes you have to kill while you're waiting for your coffee or something. That's it. Nothing more. And the design philosophy behind it was just brutal. It was so simple. You tap the screen, that's it. But one tiny mistake and boom, game over. There's no tutorial to help you out, and the game has absolutely zero mercy. So yeah, easy to learn, but just infuriatingly hard to master. But here's the crazy part. It totally flopped, at least at first. The game came out, and for months, crickets, nothing. It just sat there on the App Store, completely ignored by pretty much everyone. By all measures, it was a total failure. But then, something weird started to happen in early 2014. The game just started to spread like wildfire. But not because people loved it. Oh no. It went viral for the complete opposite reason. People absolutely hated it. They were so frustrated by it. See, the game taps into this crazy, powerful psychological loop. You die almost instantly, right? But because it's so simple, your brain just goes, ugh, one more try. That was my fault. I can do better. And you just get stuck in that cycle over and over again, trapped by your own frustration. People weren't hopping online to share their awesome high scores. They were sharing their rage. They were posting videos of themselves screaming at their phones. And it turns out, rage is a way more powerful viral engine than joy. And the growth was just insane. It was immediate and absolute. Within just a few days, it shot up to #1 on both app stores. Suddenly, millions of people were downloading it. That $50,000 a day number, it became real. This wasn't just a game anymore. It was a global meme, a full-blown cultural moment. But this is where the story takes a really dark turn. Because for every single dollar that game made, there was this hidden human cost. And that sudden, overwhelming fame came with a price that its creator was just completely unprepared to pay. The attention he was getting? It wasn't good. Dong Nguyen was just flooded with hate mail. He got death threats. People accused him of ripping off the graphics from Mario. But what was worse, he started getting messages from people who were blaming the game for their addiction, saying it was ruining their lives. The guy couldn't sleep. There was just no escaping the constant pressure. And you can hear the weight of it all in his own words. He said, I think Flappy Bird became an addictive product. It became a problem. He started to see his own creation not as a fun little game, but as a problem he had unleashed on the world. The guilt was just crushing him. And all of this leads us to the breaking point. This is the moment when all that pressure, all that guilt, and the sheer toxicity of the fame just collided. And it led to one of the most unbelievable decisions in the history of the internet. You know, when he decided to delete the game, rumors were flying everywhere. People thought he was being sued by Nintendo or that the App Store was banning him, but that wasn't it at all. The real reason was deeply personal. The creator's mental health had completely collapsed. The fame had turned toxic, and he felt this immense moral responsibility for the addiction he was seeing. Then, on February 10, 2014, he sent out this tweet.
Just a simple, almost heartbreaking message to the entire world. It was his final goodbye to the game.
And just 22 hours after sending that tweet, he did it. Flappy Bird was gone, wiped from all the app stores. I mean, think about it. He could have sold it for millions. He could have made sequels, but he didn't. He just walked away from it all. Forever. So what do we actually take away from this wild story? What can the rise and fall of Flappy Bird really teach us about success and fame in our digital world? Well, the lessons are way deeper than you might think.
First off, going viral is not the same thing as being successful. Just because everyone's talking about you online doesn't mean you've won, especially when that fame is built on something negative, like rage. And second, and this is a lesson we seem to have to learn over and over again, money is not happiness. Dongwin was making more money than he probably ever imagined, and he was absolutely miserable. And that brings us to the final, and I think the most powerful point. In a world that's constantly screaming at us to grow, to scale up, to cash out, the story of Flappy Bird is this incredible reminder that sometimes the bravest possible move you can make is to just hit delete.